Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are looking at the Action Force Riot Warfare Republic Guard by Valaverse. So Valaverse, I believe, is owned by Bobby Vala, a former employee at Hasbro. The Action Force line of action figures is pretty much in tune with what you get with the G.I. Joe Classified series produced by Hasbro. If you're looking to supplement or add on to your G.I. Joe Classified series of figures, the Action Force line is a great way to go. They're kind of like within that same scale. The amount of detail and accessories is very comparable to a G.I. Joe Classified series of figure. The one thing you'll find is that the price point is a lot higher. Like for Riot Warfare, this guy costed, I think, I want to say $39 on Amazon. And this is a very bare minimum figure. You know, I believe he doesn't come with any accessories. It's just a figure by itself. I wanted to check this figure out because it's in dark blue, and I kind of wanted to see how he stacks up next to a G.I. Joe Classified series Cobra Trooper. So here's the box. Nice illustration. Includes one figure. On the back, you get a file card, much like the old G.I. Joes from the 1980s. And let's take this guy out. I'm very curious as to what we're getting here. So, like I said, this is a higher price point. G.I. Joe Classified Series figures run anywhere between, I think, like $19 to $22 to $24. This guy right here is, $39, and I believe there's no accessories whatsoever. Oh, I stand corrected. There are some accessories. So, let's take a look at this. Okay, so it comes in this baggie. It's resealable, so if you want to store them back, you could. Alright, so just a word of caution. I've read this before handling the figure, and with some of my previous reviews on some of the other figures in this line, the joints on these figures are super, super tight. Like some joints, like the head, will move easily. I had an issue with the Condor figure where the upper torso did not want to turn. I've seen videos where people suggest that you heat the figure up by submerging it in hot water for a little bit, maybe anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute, to soften the plastic. And then once it's heated up, you got all the joints become easily accessible, and you can move stuff around freely. But as I'm handling this guy right now, I'm noticing that some of these joints are pretty tight. Like the butterfly joint here doesn't want to move, and I don't want to force it. So yeah, we're just going to look at this guy very loosely, no pun intended. I'm not going to get too deep in terms of the articulation. There's other reviewers that have already checked this figure out, so I suggest, if you want a much more thorough review, check out other content creators. But for now, we're going to do a very basic review of this guy. So here is the... Which guy is this again? It's the dark... This is the dark blue Republic Guard, but in the Riot Warfare. So like I stated earlier, the reason why I got this guy is because, he's in dark blue. I wanted to see how he stacks up next to a Cobra Infantry Trooper from Hasbro. Before we get to that, though, let's take a look at some of the additional accessories. It comes with an Action Force display stand, which is nice. It kind of has that pseudo diamond plating on here. It comes with additional accessories. There's another head and extra hands. So there's the other head. So in terms of this guy's, let's talk about his basics. So height-wise, this guy comes in at, I want to say, I think 6.5 inches. Yeah, he's roughly 6.5 inches. Much like the Condor figure, with articulation, his head rotates. His head he looks down. He looks up. Wow, that's impressive. As I've stated, there's a butterfly joint. One of mine, this one will move, but this one here is stuck. I might have to heat the figure. So he has motion here. His arms rotate, and as you can see, there's also articulation that allows you to move his arms upward. He has a bicep cut, so you can swivel at the bicep. Double pinned elbows, but they're pinless, so it's a much cleaner design. Articulated wrists, and this is stuck. It's really tight. Gotta heat that up later. He has a cut underneath his chest, so it allows for crunching. And it can also swivel, but like I said, mine's really tight. Don't want to force it. Waist cut, but it's on a ball joint, so it allows him to like rock, crunch forward, arch back, and swivel. Legs could kick forward, feels a little bit tight. Thigh cut, kind of tight. Double jointed knees, but the pinless design, so it's very clean. Let's get that into focus. There you go. Alright, that moves. If I remember correctly, I think this model of figure has a boot cut, so you could swivel at the boot. Articulated ankles, so it goes up and down, and even, I believe, moves side to side. It's still tight. So upon further inspecting this body, I believe this is the same body that they use on Condor. Let me grab Condor real fast. Here is the Condor figure. So yeah, there is some part reuse. As you can see, the boots are identical. As are the legs. The legs are identical. Same thighs. Same crotch piece. The body armor on Condor is the exact same as you'll find on the Republic Guard. As you can see here. The upper arm is the same, but the difference comes once you get below the elbow. This guy has his sleeves rolled up. This one has his sleeves down. But overall, you're looking at a figure here that makes use of, 90% of this guy, which is not a bad thing. Like I stated when I reviewed this, excellent figure. It, holds up well against the G.I. Joe Classified series. My biggest complaint is the quality control issue, and that's with the stiffness and tightness of the joints. Some of these joints are very tight, and don't force them. Multiple owners of these figures suggest, heating these toys up in like hot water to loosen the joints up. And I did that with this guy. If you've seen my review on Condor, there's a point in the video where I can't turn his torso. It's like completely stuck. So after I was done with the video, I heated up some water and I submerged this guy for like a minute. And once I did, everything moved freely. But since then, now that he's cooled down, I think the joints are back to being super tight again. Not 100% sure, but just a word of caution. If you have these figures, don't go nuts right out of the box. Take some time, examine the joints, see if they want to move. And if they don't, submerge them under hot water, and that should loosen up the plastic. Okay, so since this guy doesn't come with any accessories, there's a couple of options. For one, Valaverse, in their Action Force line, they make accessory packs. And one of the accessory packs, let me grab that, is the Urban Gear set. And I've done a video on this, you can check that out. It comes with body armor, backpack, weapons, and a helmet. And you can outfit all this onto this guy. So that's one option. Another option is if you have like Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe Classified series figures, chances are, since this figure kind of falls within that same scale, you could probably trade accessories from G.I. Joe and loan them out to this guy. Here's Duke. This gives you an idea. They do scale well next to each other. But the big comparison that we all want to see is how well does this guy stack up to a G.I. Joe Classified series Cobra Trooper. And I have one on hand right now. So let's take this guy out. And here's a comparison. As you'll see, the Action Force figure, it's a much lighter shade of blue. Now, if I could, you know, on the Classified Series figures, these vests, you could remove them, but it involves heating up the figure and softening up the plastic. And once the plastic's soft enough, you can remove the arms and you can remove the head, and you can slide the vest upward and take it off. So part of me is kind of curious if this vest will fit on this guy. I'm almost tempted to say maybe not, because this guy's chest piece up here is pretty wide and thick. And I do have a couple of these figures without the vest. I should have brought them with me. But I don't think this piece here is wide enough to accommodate this guy's chest. But give me a second. I'm going to check if I have that figure on me. Alright, we're in luck. We have my custom Cobra Commander, which makes use of this body. Yeah, it looks like you might have some difficulty fitting this chest piece onto this guy, because this guy looks like he has a slightly thicker chest. But if you heat this up long enough, the vest might be pliable enough where it can stretch over his chest. But at that point, it's like, why do that? Because, you know, if the point of you getting this is just to make this guy a Cobra Trooper, you're better off just keeping the Cobra Trooper stock. I don't, as much as I love this figure, you know, for the price point, I don't think it's an ideal replacement for the Classified Series Cobra Trooper. I think it's a great add-on. Like, if you want a Cobra Trooper that looks like he's out of his body armor and just hanging out, like in, you know, the Terror Dome, not the Terror Dome, what the hell is the Cobra version of the, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So if you want, like, a standard Cobra Trooper who's just in casual gear without his armor, this is the way to go. But if you're buying this guy to try to recreate this, you're better off just buying this. You know, for the price point, you're not really getting a whole lot. You're spending $40 for a figure that just comes with an extra head and extra hands. A figure like this, you know, this has been out for a while. I believe they originally retailed for like maybe $19 to like $25. It's been a while since these were on shelves initially. So I had to pay a markup for this guy. I want to say I paid $30 for him on Amazon, which is $9 less than this. But I get a lot more accessories. You know, I get the helmet, these extra weapons, a knife, and he's already decked out in body armor. I am curious, though, about how this guy looks with the Cobra helmet. Let's see if it's a decent fit. And it is. It fits perfectly. So you could, hypothetically speaking, you could use this as a Cobra Trooper, but it's just a question of, you know, what materials or accessories are you going to use to outfit his body. But yeah, I have to admit, he does blend in pretty well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm digging this a lot. So if I had to rate this figure on a scale of 1 to 10, for me, a solid 8. No more, no less. I do think the price point's pretty high for, you know, for what you're getting. You know, for example, the Condor figure and Sergeant Slaughter right here. You know, these are part of the Action Force line also, but for $10 more, you're getting a fully accessorized action figure. You know, for $49, which I paid for on Amazon, you're getting, you know, weapons, extra hands, a display stand, a character that's decked out with a little bit more clothing and accessories. This is great, but like I said, the price point is a little high for what you're getting. You're not getting a whole lot of bang for your buck with this. It looks, now to be honest, I'm looking at this and I'd love to like get more of these and make Cobra Troopers, but the big issue is the helmet. You know, the helmet only comes on the Infantry Trooper and on the Cobra Trooper. And once you take, I've said this before in other videos, once you remove the helmet from this guy, you kind of lose that iconic appearance. You know, this guy really needs this helmet. So unless you're into like casting your own molds and just producing, you know, your own helmets, you're not gonna find an easy replacement of this helmet to like stack on this guy's on his head. But it is a really cool looking action figure. I gotta admit that. I'm really enjoying this figure. I just wish that the quality control was a little bit better, because it's kind of a turnoff that I can't really fully articulate him without fear of breaking him, because the joints are so tight. And I don't think it's, you know, it shouldn't be necessary that you have to boil a figure every time you want to pose them. You know, one of the YouTube reviews I saw on these action figures, they make a point to mention that every time you want to pose them, you need to submerge these figures in boiling water. And it seems kind of ridiculous that I have to like essentially cook my action figures before I play with them. But I'm hoping that with the further we go into the line, like hopefully with Wave 2, that they address, you know, the tolerance issues with the joints, and that they move a little bit more freely. Oh, that was a mouthful. Okay, so let's wrap this video up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.